Welcome to Chasing Whiskey. I'm James.
I'm Terry. Welcome back.
Week number 2 and a whole new bottle.
Yeah, we have bottle and we have glasses this week. What are we drinking today, James?
This is Arran. And again, we have not read anything about this, but
try not to. It's hard not to.
We're sort of picking these by the. It's a solid presentation. Looked great on the shelf, and I bought this one this week, so it's a bit of a blind taste test for both of us. But Terry doesn't know the cost,
Right, and I bought the glasses.
Yes, and let's talk about the glasses.
All right, well, while we do that, why don't you pour?
Sweet.
Because, why should I talk if we're not having a drink?
All right.
All right, so actually I'm going to enjoy the opening first, and then we'll talk about the glasses. So I did a little research.
I love doing this.
I do too.
See what the bottle looks like, folks.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty. There's something about the tube. There's something.
That's what she said.
All right. Let's go up
here.
Yeah. Looks better on the camera, I think.
Okay. We'll have to read what that is. That is a sharp
that's nice
looking bottle. Check that out.
Right up
it's
there.
Very stubby. It's like the old stubby beer bottles.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Now we still can't actually read because we don't want to.
We don't want to taint ourselves. No, exactly. So just open us up and pour. I'd say the other side has a pull tab.
Ooh.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It has some geographical coordinates on the cork. Must show where the distillery is. Very nice.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So for glasses, so I we used coffee mugs last week. For those of you who didn't watch, because we didn't have any whiskey glasses, and so I instinctively just went out and got a couple of what I thought were whiskey glasses before I did any research at all. And so this is what I got. Show them that. It's beautiful.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's got coordinates on the side. And on the top, it says Isle of Arran. So it must be the location. Very cool. And it's got with the distillery name across the bottle. I love little details. Sorry, your glasses.
No, that's stunning, actually. I'm very impressed, actually. Okay, listen. There's almost no sound.
No sound.
Wow.
Ooh, that is going to be nice. That's sweet.
Okay. All right, let's give us more. So I bought the glasses.
I should probably pour yours first.
Sure.
Where's my manners? Okay.
And so first of all, after you're done giving yours up more than me, cheers.
Kind of reminds me of Sesame Street back in the day.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, first taste without even doing much of a sniff.
That I like.
It's very nice.
Yes, right out of the bottle.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, so from a glass perspective, I bought these standard, what they call rocks glass, or sometimes they'll call tumblers. And I assumed it was a whiskey glass. I have glasses that are similar to the shape at home. They're a little higher end, but I've always used them for my whiskey. It's what I drink my whiskey out of home.
It's kind of what the logo looks like.
The logo looks exactly like this, right? Here, cheers. There we go. There, that's the logo. But to be honest, for Scotch tasting, we should be using something that has a tulip shape. So there's actually like 3 or 4 different types of. There's dozens and dozens of types of glasses.
I don't know if legs means something in the whiskey world,
but it's sticking to the glass, isn't it? Yeah. So I'll go on to the glasses story in a minute. Let's look at this for a second. Look at the color, because last week we couldn't see any color,
right,
other than the outside of the coffee mug.
Right.
It's very pale, and the bottle is clear, which also,
makes it easier.
Yeah, last week we had a green bottle, right?
Yeah,
the Glenlivet from last week, right? So
remember last week?
Right. Yeah. So huge difference in even just the ability to see the color. But if we poured that in the glass, we probably could have seen the color. But yeah, it's very light, wheat or golden colored.
Very golden.
Yeah. And smell, and this is where I'm going to talk to you about the glass shape. It's hard to get a smell out. And last week we said it was hard to get a smell out.
We might be biased.
I'm biased, so I shouldn't have told you this. So tell me what you smell. It's a strong smell. Like I'm getting a bit of the alcohol smell.
It does have a bit of you can really sense the alcohol. It's
yeah, I agree. You know, like I wouldn't call it a burn, but it's definitely there, right? So
which if I were home, I would probably take a little bit of water.
Do you want a little water?
No, I'm good. I would. That's another topic I'd like to learn because what the heck does I've heard people say, "Oh, water cuts the alcohol." Well, what does that mean? Like it takes the heart. But I would be interested in knowing more about what that actually does.
Right. Yeah. So, do you have any taste profiles? Do you taste anything?
Well,
like smelling, other than the strength of the alcohol, I don't smell much.
I just don't know what I'm smelling.
Yeah. Very good.
It's not as last week I described it as, well, I tasted a bit of a peppery, but it was a bit harsh to smell.
Yeah.
This it's just pleasant. That alcohol sense is gone for me now, maybe because it's saturated
you've had a few sips, right? So what's interesting is that this glass is actually not designed for tasting. It's actually designed for drinking and typically mixed drinks. If you want to taste, the proper thing is to have a tulip-shaped glass. And there are lots of different tulip-shaped glasses out there. There's some that are snifters with stems. There's a glass called I think it's the Capital Nosing glass for really high-end tastings that has a stem and the tulip shape.
We're high-end.
And then, hardly. And then there's the granddaddy of them all, which is the Glencairn. So I got us a treat. These
very cool
are proper whiskey tasting glasses. And so I've gone to a whiskey tasting event before, and this is what they used. And I just assumed they were using them because they were small and cute. I didn't realize that the shape actually lends itself to tasting whiskey because it actually brings the smells up to the nose better because of the cone shape, which is very interesting. And you can also, of course, swirl the whiskey around a bit, right? And it's a heavy enough glass that you can swirl it on the table and not do any kind of damage, where the ones with the stems you can swirl, in the air. And so the tumblers or the rocks glass.
I've seen a guy do this one.
Old-fashioned. Yeah, right out the window. And so that actually, I've seen him as well. He actually uses the Capital Nosing glass with the long stem where he throws it out.
Highfalutin.
Yeah, exactly. And then, there's some variation of this, different sizes, different kinds, different brands, so on and so forth. Some of which are fatter. You'll often find bourbon tasting glasses that are a little fatter from the research I've done. And you'll find some Canadian whiskey glasses that actually don't tend to have
really good.
The stem piece, but are thicker at the bottom and more flat. And then there's a glass called the Neat, which is very interesting. It's wide at the bottom, comes in like a tulip, but then it's wide again at the top. And I'll show a picture of it.
Put it in the show notes.
There you go. And then there's the what they're calling the cream of the crop, or the best glass, which is a mix of science that was used to create the benefit of something like this. And what I like about it is the feel of it, the holding it. It's like sturdy, it's solid. You can put it down. You don't have to worry about it. It's good in the hand, but you're maybe warming up the whiskey a little bit. Where here, this is designed to prevent you from actually changing the temperature of the whiskey, just like a stem does as well. And so there's a glass called the Norling glass, and I'll again put a link in the description notes for the Norling glass. But it's very interesting because it actually has this shape in a double wall construction where the outside has sort of this kind of feel, but the inside is actually a tulip. So it's doing everything this glass does, but the double wall construction prevents any heat transfer.
Now that's funny because I've heard at least somebody say, because some people put ice, like when we go to the whiskey bar, they'll give you a little glass of ice. Some people are against the ice. because they want to warm up the whiskey,
Really?
saying that it gets
The aromas.
yeah, and the taste kind of moving.
I can certainly see it changing the aromas by heating it up or cooling it down. I would think you'd have less aroma cooling it down. But if you're putting ice in it, you're cutting it as well, just like putting water in it, right?
Okay, so this is kind of a related
absolutely.
topic to
we'll have to learn
cutting.
all about that.
Do we use water? Do we use ice?
Do we use nothing?
Do we use nothing? Usually in the limited whiskey I've had, I always try to take my first drink without anything, just to know what it tastes like.
Yeah, me too.
But I usually, admittedly, put just a little bit of water in.
Yeah.
It makes it more pleasant for me. But
when I go to the whiskey bar you mentioned, I always ask for ice on the side so I can put a drop of ice in. And I did that because I wanted to put a little bit of water in, and I find that the volume control is easier with ice than it is water. But I didn't realize I'm changing the ability for it to release aromas, I think. So anyway, so I'd say now that we've tried this in the... I'm going to let it take away from you. Now that we've tried it in the old-fashioned drink, which is what we're going to use to make, apparently, whiskey cocktails from now on, why don't we try the Glencairn, which is the official tasting glass.
Now, we're in Eastern Canada.
You don't fill the glass.
Our wine is usually right to the top, but...
Yeah, no, let's not do that. And I don't know, that's the other thing, is that should we get used to what is a proper amount? Should we?
There's so many things that we don't know.
No, I know.
I mean, some of it doesn't matter. But...
I would suggest we should, for now, as we're learn what the proper amount is, measure it out, and mark our silly glasses. And you can make fun of us all you want for that, but how else are we going to learn?
I think that's a wee dram.
There you go.
I've heard people say that.
All right, cheers. And now let's smell this now and see if it makes a big difference. It does. Right off the bat. I mean, I still can't tell you what I smell, but I can tell you right now.
I smell more of a rosy.
Yep. There's a floral note there for sure. It's way more concentrated from an alcohol perspective. Like that, you put your nose right in.
That glass was bland before. This is
And that, like, you put your nose right in there, give it a swirl, give it a good sniff, and you are sucking back some alcohol vapors up your nose. I'll tell you that much. But I can see how it's important to get the notes of aromas all centralized.
Feels nice too.
It does feel nice. The pinky's out, which is, always very sophisticated. But it's good. Yeah, floral. I see a bit of that too. But it definitely burns stronger with the smell for sure.
I would.
You know what? You have to go way far back to drink this. You wouldn't want to drink this with a sore neck. Like the distance you have to travel to put this in your mouth is pretty significant.
I don't know if it's I'm smelling more, but I feel like the taste is more pleasant. I mean, it's the same, but...
Yeah, you're making fun of me about the finger, and you'll get your finger now. Yeah, it's interesting. It's different. Okay, so before we read the bottle...
That's beautiful. Okay.
And the tube...
Yes.
Let us know if you've had this whiskey. Let us know what you thought it tasted like, what you thought you smelled. What do you think of the finish? I feel like it's a bit oily, but pleasant. There's I don't feel any different taste.
I don't know what oily means.
On my tongue, it kind of I don't know. Oily is the word I use. It kind of hangs around the tongue a bit. I found that some whiskeys, you take a drink and the smell or the taste after you've had it, the finish is very different. I don't find that. I find it's consistent.
It's consistent?
Yeah, absolutely.
All the way through?
Absolutely. I don't find a difference at all.
Now, we've talked about the smell, kind of maybe rosy. What are we tasting?
Oh, yeah. Before we read. I can't put my nose right in because it's too strong. Then that's interesting. You really can control the vapors with this glass. It's a much better glass for smelling, for sure. Well, it's better, anything better than a coffee cup, but...
Last week had the peppery, this doesn't.
Go sideways.
It's just sweet.
It's a different smell, isn't it? Or is it just me smelling you?
Well...
I don't know.
I think I'm old. Only one nostril's working at a time.
Yeah.
But it's very pleasant. What do I taste though?
I just tried to.
I have no idea.
I tried to inhale with it sitting in my mouth, and I can't. It's too strong. What's the percentage of alcohol before we start reading everything else?
Okay.
Oh, it's 56%. No wonder I'm barely. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be it.
That seems high, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Giddy up.
Okay, so let's see what this says.
Well, hold on. I want to try one more.
Okay,
sip
try.
Without trying to inhale at the same time.
Okay, you try. I'll read.
Don't read out loud yet.
Ooh.
I have a little bit of sweet. I have no clue, man.
I wanted to say vanilla because that's what anything sweet feels like vanilla.
Yes,
so
I agree. Yeah.
But it says aromatic and intensely fruity.
Okay.
With tropical fruits and coconut.
Coconut.
I didn't really see the coconut.
I don't taste coconut. But you know what? When was the last time you had coconut?
It's sweet like coconut.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Warming spiced vanilla and gourmet apple notes.
What's a gourmet apple?
I'd be lucky if I could know what an apple
tastes like. Yeah, we suck at this.
But you know what? Now that I read it, the finish, it's in the finish.
The apple is in the finish. You know what? Damn, you're right. But why is it that when we read the... Okay, if anyone can explain that, why is it that when you read it, I know the power of suggestion, I understand, but yeah.
Or maybe when the distillers are trying to describe it, they get them, like maybe we would have come up with that.
Eventually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe if our palate was good. Any other interesting tidbits on there?
Every drop
I like the geography.
Single malt starts its life as rainwater.
Oh, interesting.
I like that. That's very cool. Which pools at Loch de Davy in the beautiful hills high above the distillery. Mm-hmm. The clear water cascades down the hillside through 6 unassuming waterfalls, each one purifying the water further. The name of the burn, Isan Bairoch, means sharp waterfalls in Gaelic. The purity of our water means we can create a clean, sweet dram, which is entirely natural and unadulterated. We never add caramel or strip flavor out using chill for filtration. And it shows the map where it is. So that's really cool. I love a good story. So
I do too.
The rainwater, and although if they're just streaming from
what is
waterfall,
an unassuming waterfall? Does your waterfall assume anything about you? But no, it's good. I like the map.
Marketing, and I'm a sucker for marketing.
Yeah, I like the map. I like the
it works,
description.
Aaron. I like it.
I like the geographical, like even in the bottle, or the bottle and the box. We've got the coordinates.
If you ever want to
Google Earth them. It's stunning. It's actually, and look at this.
Master
Do you notice
blender.
this right here? Let me try to see.
Really?
Okay, let me see if we can catch it on camera. So right underneath of the word single malt scotch, which I'm hoping you can see, is Braille. I've never seen Braille.
Or maybe it's common. Who knows?
I've never seen Braille on a liquor bottle. That doesn't mean it's not normally there. And I don't know what it says because my Braille is non-existent.
Okay.
It may not even be Braille, but I'm assuming it's Braille.
Okay,
Anything
the same
additional in the bottle?
Natural cask strength. At some point, we need to know what a single malt is versus double malt or whatever. But distilled and matured in Loch Ranza, Isle of Arran. Single malt Scotch whiskey. Yep. From Scotland.
It's nice. It's
Distillers, Bentech House, Pottery Road, Dunlonghair, Dublin, Ireland. That's not Scotland. How does that work? Maybe the distiller,
the owner or something.
Maybe
that's
it's
fine.
bottled or something. But yeah. Okay. So we've got the taste. We've got the color.
We got a heck of a pair
Got
of
the
good pair of
smell.
glasses.
Great glasses. I've got my glasses.
that's
smooth.
Good. I was surprised at how strong it was when I tried to inhale and smell at the same time. Like I had it in my mouth and tried to inhale. Whew, like it was strong.
It's strong. Thus, we need to understand the water.
All right, so let's do that. Let's get some water.
Don't want any water.
You don't want any?
I want to know what the water does. I'm happy.
So let's pour another little bit.
Okay.
Let's try a little water. See what we think. Then we'll learn and we'll report
understand
back.
what it is. Okay.
How's that? I'll be right back. All right.
Want to finish that one and I'll pour you another?
Yeah, sure. So we have some water. It's
No.
It's a little bit colder than room temperature. Unfortunately, there was maybe a third of that amount in the fridge. I filled it up.
I'm guessing this is a faux pas to use tap water.
But it's filtered. It's the best I can get here without running to the store.
And we are Canadian. We have good water.
But it's filtered through a Brita. I mean,
it comes through waterfalls from rainfall.
Apparently so. Should I just continue to pour or should I finish that? All right.
That's a big dram. It's not a wee dram. Now, okay.
Don't you find the pours get bigger every time? Isn't that how that's supposed to work?
Now, I have
Should we go back? Let's go back. There we go.
I have no idea.
You don't need to lift that up. You just pour.
That felt like a lot of water. You want to try?
Sure. Let's try here. I'll do just a little bit less than you.
Ooh,
That's a lot of water too. Okay. I think. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe.
Maybe there's a special way to get the water into your whiskey.
Maybe not using a 4-liter Brita jug is probably one of the ways. All right. Let's see if that makes a difference. Oh, even smelling makes a difference. Okay, so hold on for it. So before when I was smelling, it burned to go all the way in. It doesn't burn to go in anymore. Like you can go right in there.
I don't know if I can do that.
My nose doesn't fit? We both have big noses. It's okay.
It definitely gets rid of the cloud of alcohol coming up.
I don't know what I smell though. I don't.
It's much milder.
Yeah, and you know what I can do now? I can probably have it in my mouth and inhale through my mouth now.
Is that a thing?
That choked me last time. That's good. So I just find you have different flavor aromas and flavors when you do that.
Okay, so
It's true enough, but anyway.
We have to learn a little more about water. I think that was a little too much water for me.
I have no idea. And the thing is, I don't know.
Or maybe that's all it is, personal preference. But now that I had it
without and with, which is better?
I kind of like it without. It's more like it kind of stays true. You know, you want to appreciate what they've actually produced, right? However, it did have
a lot easier to drink. I'll tell you that.
Well, that might not be a good thing.
Could be for me.
Before I could just sip on it during a TV show or something. So the question, we've kind of got to know this whiskey, our rating system.
Yeah.
Would you buy it again?
Okay, so first of all,
I would buy 2.
The tube. I'm a sucker for a tube, right? Anything that comes, and that's a solid tube.
Makes it seem quality, right?
I know, it's ridiculous.
I don't know why anybody doesn't do the tube.
But overall, it's delicious. It's very well rounded. It's good tasting. It has a nice finish. It's consistent. It doesn't surprise you at all. It tastes like it smells. I enjoy it. I was happy to pour myself another glass. Putting in water didn't wreck it. It seems to be just even a little more smooth. It's
definitely the favorite out of our collection. No, it is.
Well, that's out of 2.
I mean, I enjoyed last week's.
Yeah.
I remember that first taste. I was like,
Yeah.
I had to get to know it first.
Yeah, this was good. Like very first sip, I didn't mind this. This was very
Now, I know test tastes can be biased
very
too,
subjective.
because they found, I believe, one of the leading soft drinks tastes better in small amounts, but the other tastes better in more larger longevity.
That's very interesting.
So
That's a good point.
yeah,
But
so we'll have to like drink a whole lot more.
I like
to
where you're going with
understand
this. So tune into our other channel, Drunk with James and Terry. But I agree. I think I would buy it again. So I'm going to ask, what did it cost us?
$70 Canadian.
Okay, so a little higher than last week's. Not bad. I would definitely look for it on sale.
I'm
happy with it.
Yeah,
I like it. I would buy it again.
I liked it
At that price point,
immediately.
it's kind of at my cutoff. If you were going to say it was $100, it was the top of our artificial threshold that I artificially implemented, I might not. But under 100, in the 70 range, yeah, I'd buy it again. What about you? Would you buy it again?
I would absolutely. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no hesitation. I would.
You know what? Now that we cut it a bit, it's even better.
No, I prefer the other way.
Well, that's okay.
Yep.
To each their own. I was going to say cheers, but you're well into it. Cheers.
See you next week.